The Maxx had a critical failure.
And it's about time we fix it.
Welcome back to 3x7 Outdoor. Today we're going to show you how to fix an RC car having a critical failure.
Have you ever had an ESC where it's blinking all red lights across it? That's a critical failure. And that is something that Traxxas will do something about.
When you have a critical failure, you can send your ESC into Traxxas and they will replace it for free. But in this case, they also wanted to see the motor. So we sent the motor in, and then they just gave us a motor and an ESC back for free. We don't have our old ESC or motor back. It's still at the warehouse, but...
Yeah, they have it under microscopes, and they're scientifically analyzing what happened to 3x7 Outdoor.
But they gave us the new ones, so we're gonna install them.
So we've got the 540XL 2400 brushless motor.
And the VXL 4S speed controller. This thing has been apart since June of 2022. It is now May 2023, so about a year. Don't know why we didn't get around to it, but...
It's been a long time. We didn't drive it all winter. It's one of our favorite cars to drive. Ooh, look at that, shiny new.
This is the motor that we're going to be putting into the Maxx compared to the motor that you'd see in, say, a Rustler or a Slash.
This is a motor that goes into the Sledge, a 2000 kV motor.
Unlike the eRevo, which takes a 2200 kV motor.
Which we now have in our Sledge.
And now it does standing backflips.
Yep.
If you ever wondered what a 6S motor looked like in the Maxx, it's rubbing right there.
There's not enough room.
There's a lot of space to put that pinion, so if you maybe wanted to grind that down, you could. That's a possibility.
You could cut it.
On many cars, you'll have to use a little piece of paper to align the gear mesh, make sure the gear mesh is correct. But on the Maxx, you can see it has this little part that the motor mounts onto, and there's this little pin. It's on the E right here, as you can see, and that's the stock gearing position, so you don't have to worry about gear mesh. It just snaps right in. Like that. You do not have to worry about gear mesh on the Maxx.
So first you'll take your motor and you'll take this round piece and push it on all the way to the back. That will sit down in these two holes like that. There's a little pin right here and your motor plate will lock itself in with that little pin. It's all pretty self-explanatory. You can't really screw anything up. Now we're going to put in all the screws.
If you're wondering the stock gearing ratio on the Maxx, it is 50 to 24. The pinion is 24, the spur is 50. Remember, you're going into metal with these screws, so make sure that the screws you're putting in have Loctite on them. All you have to do is stick it in. You have these and this pin for guidance, so all you have to do is plop it right there, and now it's in.
Except we need to slap this in there first.
When you're putting in the grub screw, make sure that the grub screw is going onto the flat side of the motor shaft.
And always use fresh Loctite. Down she goes.
I'd say that's pretty good. A tiny bit offset, maybe move it to the right a little bit. The more spot on it is, the better. Then you have less chance of stripping a gear. So you could just put on the heat sink to go onto here, but if you want it to sink heat, better, you can use homemade heat sink paste. What is this made out of?
Zinc and motor oil. Pharmaceutical zinc powder is what we had.
And then motor oil, and that is how you make homemade heat sink paste. All you have to do is spread just a nice little even layer inside of there, and then mush it onto the car.
It doesn't take much. This stuff has lasted us a very long time, but anything to help keep your motor cooler is a plus in my book.
Boom. There we go. Now it's upside down.
I will just throw the motor mount screws in. Motor is in. We gotta set that fan in place and put the ESC in, and we're in business.
All you need to do to put in the
The ESC just has 4 little clips.
That's not the ESC.
I mean the fan.
We both said the ESC.
The motor fan just is held in with 4 little clips. It hooks onto the heat sink right here. Boom, it's on.
All it takes to put the ESC in is 2 long screws.
So a lot of times they come with a piece of foam that adhesives onto here that helps with vibrations. It did not come with one in the box, so we're going to make our own out of a Traxxas packaging that we save, and we always tell you to save this stuff. Here's a perfect opportunity. I found a damaged wire. I like to use this liquid electrical tape for things like this, because the electrical tape is just kind of clumsy and you're trying to wrap it around in a confined area, it just doesn't work that well.
And all you need to do is just put a little layer over that, and then it'll turn, once it dries, it'll turn to like regular electrical tape and keep it sealed.
Just dab it in there. Get a little extra on there so it has a place to adhere to. That should do it.
Now we're going to pop the screws back on to the receiver box, and we are done.
So as your truck gets a little bit older, the foam inside of your receiver box gets a little worn out.
This is a pretty old Maxx. It's actually the oldest Maxx. This was the very first Maxx that was ever unboxed.
Yes, it was. We were the first. It's a Gen 1. In fact, we have a different Maxx here that's bigger, wider, you know, all that
Well, it's
stuff.
not technically wider, but it comes with the wide Maxx kit, whereas this one doesn't.
We created the wide Maxx. I like to put fresh dielectric grease in here, which will help keep it more waterproof as you're playing with your car and getting it wet. I'm just gonna put a little bead there. If that stays, I am gonna win the lottery.
You won the lottery.
Thanks, folks.
For the first time in 1 year, the Maxx is able to drive.
Except for one more thing. We should make sure we have the link system and see if there are any updates for this. We don't know how long that's been sitting in a box.
True. Sticker in there. So all you have to do is open up the Traxxas Link app and press link. Then turn on your remote.
I did.
All right, and then I should push this button and it should link to the controller. Says it's connected, and
There's
now
a blue light back here.
it needs to turn the vehicle on. You'll see the vehicle thing, it turned green. This is how you know when something is wrong. Show them. Show them the throttle. Not pushing the throttle. Now do the steering. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. While we're fixing that, we already checked on the app that there is no update for the ESC. It would have come up on my screen. Update available, but there wasn't an update. So we must be good. Now it's not making all that noise.
That sounds better.
We have full steering.
We do have blinking red green though. What's happening?
It should figure itself out.
We also have no fan.
Oh, what we need to do to fix that blinking green light is a master endpoint reset. So what you want to do a master endpoint reset is hold the top two buttons and then turn your transmitter on, and you see it's blinking red. Now you want to hold the top two buttons again until it blinks green. There we go, it's blinking green. Now to set your steering endpoints, it's going to go full left, hit the set button, blinking green faster. Full right, hit the set button. Now it's blinking red. Now you're setting your throttle endpoints, which is what we need. We're going to go full throttle, hit the set button. Full brake, hit the set button.
And now it's solid green.
Turn it off and back on for good measure. Let's see if it works now. We have steering and we have throttle.
Boom.
We have backwards and forwards. That's how you do it.
All right, this truck is finished now. We can finally take it out and drive it again. We better go see what it's worth.
All right, I'm going to try her out a little bit more. Ah, I thought I'd be able to jump it. Best car Traxxas has ever made, still to this day.
Best bang for your buck.
It's what, 500 bucks, $549? I'm not really sure. That's
Price
what it was
might have changed.
Yeah, it's what it was when it came out. But even though it's not the V2 Max, it is still a wide Max. It's pretty much the same. It's just it doesn't have the longer wheelbase. Still, so durable, so fun. I don't know how Traxxas did it. It's just the secret sauce.
Oh, you put her upside down. You're going in.
It's not like it's winter. It's not cold. And look at that. What a nice little flower. The flower! What did you do?
What the flower?
So if you're looking for an awesome car to buy, get the Max. We just showed you how to fix the critical failure issue and how to put in a new motor. So I guess that's all for today's video. I'm gonna put it down because it's probably really loud in the microphone. That's all.
Maybe a servo video coming.
Maybe a servo video coming, something like that. But that's all for this video. Hopefully you liked it, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. 3x7 Outdoor, signing out.
Bye for now.